Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gorcom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after big news. And that's an understatement today because Universal PropTech put out big enough news that the stock was halted. And as we're talking right now, it's up 20% on pretty massive volume for just a couple of hours of trading. With us, we got him back again in less than a few days. Frank Carnevale, Chief Growth Officer. Universal PropTech trades under UPI and the TSX Venture Exchange. For those new to the story, it's going to be a lot of you because of today's news and the market activity. It means a lot of new eyeballs are attracted. As the name implies, PropTech is a combination of two words, stands for property and technology. But as simple as that is, the implementation is anything but. But UPI has had over $35 million in revenues the last 3 years. They've been used in federal government facilities for the last 40 years. Clients include Brookfield, Manulife, Billy Bishop Airport, University of Toronto, you name it, big names. They've got the third-party validation. But today's press release is the big news, and this kind of knocked me off my chair when I saw it. I'm going to read the headline. Universal PropTech invests in and secures defined agency rights for ISBRG's Spotlight 19 technology, which is designed, you ready for this? Designed to detect COVID-19 non-invasively in under 1 minute. Frank, welcome back. What's going on?
Thank you very much. Great to be here. Yeah, it's been a great day. Obviously, we've been waiting for this day. I think it's great. You forgot the other part. It's low cost.
Oh, we're
so
going to get to that. Don't worry. I just wanted to give
anything. So yeah.
I just want to give that great man.
Yeah, we're really excited.
You know, it's not often that I left in awe or kind of speechless, but when I had to read that headline a couple of times, designed to provide confirmation of COVID-19 infection in less than a minute. And the way it's done, it's a finger scan, right? It's a non-invasive scan of a person's finger using a harmless beam of light, right? So let's high level before we go into the details. Who is ISBRG? ISBRG, one of these cool new names, ISBRG, right? And how does Spotlight 19 actually work?
Yeah, it's so I'll give you what information I can give you. I mean, ISBRG has been in stealth mode for a while, and they've been working on various abilities to really monitor health, right? Monitor your state of infection, among other things than just COVID. And ultimately, so they're Mississauga-based company. Duncan McIntyre is the founder and president of it. So yeah, they've been in stealth mode, doing a lot of interesting things. Obviously, when COVID started, they pivoted and said, there's a solution here. And very quickly, they figured out there is. So they got their proof of concept quite quickly. So, again, they were looking at other state of health assessments, and they realized we need to turn our sights on COVID-19, and so they did. So we're quite excited.
Now, third-party validation. You guys included a great quote in the press release from Michael Kelly, who was a former global VP of Amgen. A lot of people may not know who Amgen is. Right now, they're about $135 billion market cap company. So this is a big company. And he said, in his words, and I'm excerpting here, Spotlight 19, artificial intelligence and optical design innovations, subject to confirmation, these trials have the potential to significantly impact the global economic recovery more than any other technology available today. I mean, it's one thing for you guys to be saying that because naturally we're all conflicted when we're doing our own thing.
Yeah.
But you got Michael Kelly, who's got a great reputation, who's at Amgen for 14 years. He's not going to use these words lightly, man. What does it feel like to hear him say something like that?
Well, I mean, it's great. It's obviously we've done our homework, and it helps validate what it is we know and what's going to happen. And it's not just him. I mean, you have Commander Chris Hadfield, who's on this advisory board and quite active in the business. So, we're really excited of what of the team and the strategy that Duncan's put together. And, if you can appreciate, being one of the early investors in this business, we have this obligation to disclose and come out and be public about this investment. And in the coming days or so, you'll see other things happen that would be pretty exciting for ISBRG, which we're obviously very excited about. But they have an impressive group of people. And if you think about it, I mean, Michael Kelly's right. Can you think of another technology that's going to impact opening the economy in any way compared to this?
No, this is the best one I've seen so far. I got to tell you, under a minute. Now, that is subject to clinical trials. I like that he said that too. Subject to confirmation in these trials. Before we get to the trials part, Spotlight 19, the platform, has proof of concept, right? It has gone through a proof of concept stage. Several published studies support the proof of concept and the application of light to detect viruses. So you got to go through the trials, but you guys have obviously taken a look up until now. What degree of confidence is there in these trials, and how long do you think they're going to take?
Obviously, we think a high degree. We know we have a good understanding of what their strengths are, and I think if you look at what's happening in the marketplace, the challenge hasn't been. I mean, if you compare them to the PCR test, the challenge I think has been what's available to really assess or detect an asymptomatic case. And ultimately, I think this technology does a great job to really solve a lot of that. But from a trial perspective, things will play out. We're talking about, give or take, we're talking about months, if that, to really bring it forward for the final approval. But it's exciting. The details will come out as to how they're being tested, how they're doing it, the calibration, everything about it. But it is really exciting. Obviously, we looked at everything. I wish I could say a lot more about it at this point, but it's
I think
great,
that laugh kind of says it all. I think that laugh says a lot.
Yeah. I think it's anyone who this is, I'll say this, okay? From an artificial intelligence perspective, we changed our name to Universal PropTech for a reason. And you probably can't find a better technology. Certainly what we've been looking at and thinking about, you can't find a better technology and a better application of saying we're going to use artificial intelligence and technology to prevent effectively people who have the virus get inside of a building. We're keeping a building safe. We're further protecting the people in it and making sure the building can function and open the economy. And we're using technology, AI, to do that. Our whole concept is healthy buildings, and this is pretty important and pretty key to achieving that. So it just fit in beautifully with what we're up to and what we're trying to achieve right now.
So trial should be a few months. I guess it means 3 to 5, 4 or 5.
There's certain parameters as they play out that could make it quicker. It can make it longer. But everything that we've seen, obviously, we're quite pleased and quite excited to
So
have
you
this
think
stuff
you guys
roll
be
out.
going to market in 2021? So if you're going to the market, what kind of verticals? And look, we know this applies to every vertical on the planet.
Yeah.
What do you guys consider, if you can share that with us, some of your high priority verticals?
Well, our verticals are, it's quite clear, and it's in the document, all Canadian governmental bodies, agency, boards, and commissions. So we're talking about federal government, provincial, territorial governments, municipal governments, which is pretty much all the governments. And then you take education, primary, secondary, post-secondary, and all across the country are the verticals that we've secured exclusively. And so there's definitely a plan. The key is the timing of it. There's definitely a plan to roll out, locking down those targets, locking down so that we can hit the ground running when obviously we do get final approval. Is there an order? I think we'll go by who has the most assets and the most buildings and go from there. But when you start thinking about, border crossings, government buildings, schools, you think about even September and the ability to really, open facilities for kids to make sure parents and teachers and everyone's safe going forward. We're pretty excited at the timing of this. So from a vertical market, we're really excited about what we have exclusivity to. And of course, it doesn't say that what we don't have exclusivity to, we don't go after. So we'll be quite opportunistic and strategic about what we can get done in the coming months.
You're also making an investment, which I think is genius. And that makes sense, right? If that only led me to further believe, hey, they believe in it so much, they've made a small investment in ISBRG at the same time. Are you able to discuss any details of that?
I mean, it's a minority investment. That's pretty much all we could say. That's not in the document. Again, it's exciting because you're absolutely right. Why would you? And this was the intention on our part to help de-risk prop tech investments. You're making an investment in a technology far, greater implications, far greater than just Canada. And to have that ability to help de-risk it in our Canadian marketplace, deploy it and obviously generate revenues and growth from that, and help the company grow in size, grow its market value globally. That's a ride we're going to hang on to, obviously. So it's pretty exciting to be able to help them de-risk it and take it to market.
Because it's a harmless beam of light that's actually scanning the finger, because it's scanning the blood, right? At the end of the day.
So
what other applications
are
there? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give it to you this way. I mean, definitely it's so there's certain optics involved. So it's a beam of light, and it's a very particular beam of light. There's certain optics involved in what it's scanning for. And ultimately, whatever is in your blood is ultimately what it's going to identify. The AI is part of it. Obviously, the AI kicks in to help identify. If you understand how artificial intelligence works, machine learning, you're ultimately teaching it to identify, this is what COVID positive people look like. This is what COVID negative people look like. This is what someone who has the flu looks like. This is what someone who doesn't have the flu looks like. And you start looking for correlations that ultimately feed the machine learning that allow you to do this pretty instantaneously going forward. So tremendous amount of applications for it.
I like that, because I mean, it's not just a one-trick pony. I mean, this would be a massive one-trick pony, but at the same time, it's got multiple.
Well, just then put that in perspective, right? I mean, that's the exciting part is, and even our own business, as we've been looking at air quality COVID-19 related solutions, COVID testing is an $84 billion US market annually in the world. Okay. Crazy. Canada. Okay. And we have our own challenges of getting vaccines and everything. In Canada, it's over $1 billion annually. So I'm not too sure if someone has a 2-minute solution we should be worrying about, or a 5-minute solution, or a 10-minute solution. But you start to get a sense of what opportunity exists if we can get this thing to market in fairly decent order.
Is it too early for you guys to talk about how you think it might impact? Like you guys done over $35 million in revenue in the last 3 years. Is it too early to talk about how Spotlight 19 could potentially impact the company's growth going forward?
No, I wouldn't say it's too early, other than, when you look at the timing of a few months, it'll probably start to take us into, we'll definitely be in the next fiscal year from a revenue perspective of when everything starts coming in from this. But obviously, as we get closer to their approval, we'll have a much better sense of how we're going to market from a pricing perspective. We do have some levers from a licensing, an annual licensing plus a user fee, and that goes into the mix. And it could be different solutions for different customer classes. I don't think, a restaurant will end up paying the same cost structure or model the same as, say, a school would pay. So these are things we'll have to play out. There's really nothing to compare it to really understand how that's going to play out. I think the key for us is the speed to which we can get it to market will be critical. There's no point in trying to get maximum, we want to get maximum dollar on every single licensing deal, or else, well, COVID's going to be here for a while, but at some point it's people need to get their buildings open. People need some comfort, and we want to contribute towards that. So from a revenue perspective, absolutely in the coming months, this would be a critical piece, huge critical piece to our revenue and profit going forward. But I will say this, if people are wondering, I've talked to people today about, an HVAC company, how did you guys get into this? Again, so let's just follow the bouncing ball here, right? So we're opening up doors and signing contracts with government facilities across the country. We get this deal done. We then have, there could be scenarios of people are now in a building. How do you also treat the air within a building? God forbid, if someone gets in a building, even if they're negative before they got in it, they're there for 6 or 7 hours, nothing stopping them, nothing stopping the virus from spreading in them or becoming more
Yeah,
aware
it's
that
not 100% lockdown. That's just
no, right? So it's the lockdown at when they did the test, just like any other test. But I think our ability to do the pull through. I mean, think of our business model. Our model today is we have service contracts that allow us to get in the door and increase repair work and increase installation work and grow our book of business with and our share of wallet with every customer. We're now just increased our customer size nationally, and we have an ability once we're in that door to nurture that relationship to increase the share of wallet of all the other services we're offering. So from that perspective, it will do wonders, we believe, to at least kickstarting it's not just walking in cold. We're literally in a door, having a conversation, loading up equipment in these facilities, and the ability to grow our share of wallet. So we think it's quite strategic of how we've approached this.
Yeah, to me, it makes sense, actually. And this isn't, you're not a widget company saying, hey, how'd you guys get this? I mean, I think it's a very natural fit there.
So George, I've known you for a number of years. I think, people won't know my history, but I've lobbied for about 15 years. I created a lobby business. I know municipalities like the back of my hand. I know premiers, prime ministers, I've worked with these people for over 20 years. And so you can take the access part and what we need to do and add in the HVAC, the air quality, the building performance, the energy resources. This is not difficult whatsoever for us to really contemplate that strategy and roll out, because I've actually done that for 20 years. So for me, I'm quite excited. I mean, I helped deliver the largest wind farm in this province a few years ago. I've worked on I've worked on the largest energy retrofit contract in the history in the day that I did it. So this is not,
how to implement
new
technology and how to get it marketed. That's for sure.
I'd like to think that's one of the reasons why ISBRG, why we came to terms. I think ISBRG appreciated our really, double ability to not only understand what happens in a building and to be able to drive that with our existing government customers, but also have the ability to walk into these facilities and have those conversations with mayors, presidents of universities, premiers. So,
well, based on that, we could go way deeper on this, but I think it's smart at this point to let things unfold. And given the fact that there are trials that can be going on, new partnership, all sorts of things, it sounds like going to be unveiled in the coming weeks and few months. We'll save those deeper dive conversations for those ones. But yeah. I mean, I'm still a little bit almost. I think.
Hey, George,
when I saw the headlines, I almost shook my head.
I told you last week there's a new sheriff in town, right? We signed up Lumen Ultra, and I told people, we're going to find COVID, and here we are. We're not even letting COVID get past the door. So, I'm sticking to that. We're the new sheriff in town, and our package of what we're working on is the way to solve COVID in any facility if you want to open the economy in this country.
Frank, I'm going to leave it right there, because anything above and beyond that would take away from that message. Powerful message, and you're putting your money where your mouth is. Just last week we talked about the deals that you brought into the company, new products, new partnerships. Now this, which again has left me dumbfounded, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do as Chief Growth Officer over at Universal PropTech. It's amazing what you've done already, and I can't wait to see this unfold. And by the way, good for society too, right? I mean, let's not forget that.
Absolutely. I mean, look, of course it's great for society. If nothing opens, none of us are going to do well. So we need to help get past this. And we think we found some great ways of doing that. So we're really excited.
Thanks for joining us, Frank. Good luck.
Thanks,
Can't wait to have you back. I mean, we only had you on a few days ago, so you're on a every few day rotation right now. So we're going to hold you to that.
Yeah. When are we renaming the show?
The Carnivale Small Cap Carnivale.
There you go. That's it. That works.
Yeah. Small Cap Carnival with Frank Carnivale.
Just growth of the day.
Yeah,
maybe something like that.
Nothing else matters. This is the only thing that matters. Yeah. But no, great stuff, cool. Frank. Can't wait to have you back, and congratulations. We're having a little tongue in cheek here, but this is a major third-party validation again of Universal PropTech. The fact that you were able to secure agency rights, defined agency rights, make an investment. You guys doing amazing things. Continued success, my friend.
Thanks, George. We'll talk soon.
For everyone at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast to Frank Carnevale, Chief Growth Officer of Universal PropTech, trades on the TSX Venture Exchange on the stock symbol UPI. Go do your due diligence at Agoracom. Go read this press release today, and then get over to the Universal PropTech site and do your due diligence there. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great day. See you next time.